controversial, and we breaking the virtues. Now that we in the game, we in every commercial. Magazine, radio, we stay interviewing. Might hit up Wendy Williams just to ask like, how you doing? I wake up every morning, my face in every blog. Freaky boys, t-shirts, every kind of.
Welcome back to another episode of Opinionated. I'm Lewis Jones.
I'm Mark Hayes.
And I'm Chadwick Gaines.
Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Opinionated. Now, before we start, I would like to let our audience know that Michael Devon LeBlanc is no longer with us. We'd like to thank Michael Devon LeBlanc for all his contributions to the show, and we wish him well in his future endeavors. Okay?
It's me playing the violin.
And to introduce our new co-host, Chadwick Gaines.
However you play it. You play it like this.
Hello, I'm Chadwick Gaines. Great to be part of this show, or at least joining it. And I look forward to giving my opinions on the various topics that we will discuss.
Oh man, you sound excited. I love it.
Very
I
much
love
so.
it. It's about to be an exciting
Very much so.
episode. My boy Chadwick Gaines in his home with the deep voice. I love it.
And can you tell us something about
Tell
yourself?
us something about yourself. You look educated, you got stripes, and you got a
Yes.
solid. You look like you know a
Yes.
little bit about fashion. You know what I'm saying?
I try
I used to
to
be
do
a
my
stylist
best.
back in the day. I was like, he got a little bit going on with the gold watch. You know what I'm saying? Tell us,
He's trying to copy me, but
you know what I'm saying? Y'all think y'all fresh with y'all college.
Now I came with blue like you, so I got a piece of everything. I got a
You know
blue
what I'm
like you, and I got a gold
I ain't
like.
got to wear nothing, you know what I'm saying? I look good regardless. But anyway, Chad, tell us about yourself, man. Tell the people.
From Florida.
Okay.
Went to FAMU, the Rattlers.
Okay.
HBCU.
HBCU for
I
sure.
then moved to New Jersey,
Oh.
where I attended Rutgers for law school.
Oh.
I'm currently practicing immigration law here in the Los Angeles area. And with the firm I'm with, we represent clients in all 50 states. So if you know anyone who needs assistance with any immigration matters, hit me up. I believe my contact information will be down here somewhere.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
And also, you can start at the border because there's a lot of clients there that is in need of your help.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yes.
For sure.
So, like we
Business
always
is booming for you right now, huh?
Yes, it is. Yes. Unfortunately, out of this madness. You know.
Yeah, it's like, you know, somebody won, you know, with Trump, I guess, you know.
Don't say the lawyers.
So, I would like to start off with asking you, Mark, what did you do over the weekend?
Oh man, you know, usually I'd be like, oh, doing the same old, but this time I actually went back to Houston to go see my mom's. You know, it's her birthday tomorrow, so she did a little birthday weekend. We went to Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? Anybody familiar with Bourbon Street? If I could remember what happened that night, I would tell you, but it was a good time.
Nice.
And
Was-
Chad, typically we ask each other what did we do over the weekend, so I'm going to ask you, what did you do over the weekend?
The weekend, I went to the grocery store. I got a new meal prep regimen where it's like a $50 menu. So I was pretty excited about that. I actually spent under $50, and it's supposed to last me for the entire week. Meal prepped and went to the gym and did some readings.
Yeah.
It was relaxed for the most part.
An exciting weekend. I love it.
Well,
I'm fucking with you, bro.
when did I?
It was very exciting.
No, I meal prepped. You know, I ate some lunch, had some carrots. I usually have celery, but you know, I had to switch it up. You
Yeah,
know?
you know.
I'm fucking with you. I'm gonna fuck with you, bro.
No.
It's fun.
So,
All fun.
you know, I had a Friends Day on Saturday. Friends Day, where all of my friends got together and went to the museum, King Tut Museum,
King Tut.
and we
Oh,
went
where
to go-
is that actually? I've heard of it.
Like
Is it
by
Santa Monica or
USC.
something?
No, it's by USC.
By USC. I want to go there.
Right by the stadium.
I need to go there sometime. I heard that was pretty lit.
Yeah, Gerard works there.
For real?
So we went. It was actually a really good exhibit,
Mhm.
but we wanted to go to the African American Museum, but we couldn't go because a lot had happened during the museum. So a lot of people decided to take edibles, and
Oh.
during the exhibit, like a little bit afterwards, everybody started throwing. Well, one person started throwing up,
Oh, no.
Can't
and
handle it.
just started
Right.
throwing up everywhere. So we had to kind of cut our trip short They was visiting, so it's like
Don't eat the whole edible, ladies and gentlemen.
don't do nothing that you ain't never done before, that you don't have a tolerance for, and don't do it in a public place either.
Don't
in
do
your
it. Don't
own
do it
home.
if you don't know what you're doing. You gotta be around people who know what they're doing.
And then he was around everybody who knew what they was doing, but his body couldn't.
His
take
body
it.
couldn't take it. His whole little body
He couldn't take it.
could not take it.
So, what I'm going to ask you guys now, if you have any question that you want us to answer on the show, comment the question below, and at the end of the show, we will answer a question on the show. Okay? So let's get right into the topics today. President Donald Trump, I'm going to say his name this week, recently tweeted Iran officials in all caps. Take a look at the tweet. Do you think that Trump is initially trying to start a world war, or is he really incompetent as he seems? I'm going to start off with the legendary Mark.
Ooh, the legendary. I like that. Honestly, man, you know Donald Trump is a dude with a whole bunch of pride and ego, so that's all that is. It's just him getting on Twitter, just talking shit. But I know you said this has nothing to do with the question, but recently Iran just responded and said they were very unimpressed. So I wonder how he's going to take that. That's going to be something we talk about next week, because I'm sure he's going to say something even more stupid.
Now, who's unimpressed?
Iran. They say, yo, we just like you know, they pretty much said to give it a synopsis, like, we're unimpressed, you know, we've been around, we've been doing this. So whenever you ready, we ready. So we'll see what happens.
Let's go, Chad.
Yeah, so, you know, there's been a long history between the United States and Iran.
For sure.
And the history hasn't been so pleasant, right? And as we know, very recently about the Iran nuclear deal, in which Obama negotiated for them to cease the development of their nuclear weapons, right? However, Trump decided that it wasn't in the United States' interest to remain in that agreement, so we've withdrawn from it, right? Thereby giving Iran the ability or the capacity to do whatever they want to do, and essentially they would continue their nuclear arms program.
They're going to do whatever they please.
Well, they were in a deal, but we, because of Trump, we're not in the deal any longer, right?
Oh, damn.
So it's scary times, because they are now continually to build these nuclear weapons, right? Which could blow the United States or any other territory to smithereens.
But it's like, honestly, bro, nobody wants that. Like, even Iran, everybody has nuclear weapons for some just in case shit, just in case somebody loses their shit and it just starts. Because once one person goes off, everybody's gonna go off.
Well, that's the issue, right? Like, we could say, well, no one wants that, right?
But
look
when
at
it
North
happens,
Korea, right? So these are bodies or governments that have been subjected for so long to the West rule, right? So they want their position in the world, and that could be possibly a way to gain it.
For sure.
Right? So it's unfortunate, but Republicans have a history of entering wars, right?
Yeah.
Bush, just how many years ago? And it was based on false pretenses. So Trump's, of course, being the bully that he has always been, right? But now he's going after Iran, who I don't believe threatened the United States in any way. So this is very unfortunate times, and it's very unfortunate times that our president would provoke these individuals. Right? So is he begging for World War III? I hope not. But it has all the fittings to suggest that war could be imminent.
Now, I used to think that Donald Trump was just this incompetent person that just didn't know what he was doing.
You're right.
And now I'm starting to think that there has to be some type of underlying motive to this man's agenda, or to the Republican Party agenda, or his team, his committee. Because I'm just not fathoming the fact that he's out here, like, building relationships. I'm not saying, I'm gonna call it what it is. Building relationships with our enemies, which we know that they still are enemies. Like, as far as like Putin and Kim Jong-un and whatever, but he's also initiating altercations with other officials and other leaders in overseas or whatnot. And the thing about it is that I feel like the United States has just has so much going on right now that we can't afford, or we don't need the drama of another war or anybody attacking us. You know, so I just think that this man like has some type of underlying agenda, and only time will tell.
Because I really want to know what that agenda is.
No, bro.
It will reveal itself.
Republicans always have an underlining agenda. Like that's fact. That's like off top. Like, even Democrats, like politicians in general, you know, they have some kind of agenda that they don't present to the world that we don't know about. I mean, I'm saying this, it might be an ignorant fact that I'm stating, you know, because I'm just saying it, but I'm 100%. Like, they don't tell us everything.
They don't tell us nothing.
I mean, they tell us what they want to tell us.
They make
That's
us
what the
think
media.
we know, but we don't know.
That's what the media
They
is
saying,
for.
"Hey, look over here," and all this going on up over here.
Right,
So you know.
right.
But any closing comments on that statement?
Man, I was about to ask another question. That'll lead to a whole nother conversation. But closing comment on that, man. I pray to God that we don't jump into World War III, man. Hopefully, there's not a draft or anything that happens in this new age. That'd be ridiculously sick.
All right, audience, what do you think about this topic? I want you guys to comment below in the comment section, and we're going to read a few of the comments throughout the show.
You're good. You're good.
All right, thank you. So we're going to go on to our next topic. A parking lot confrontation in Florida ended in gunfire and a man dying in front of his 5-year-old son and his wife. Police say that a shooter is protected by the Stand Your Ground law. Do you think that the Stand Your Ground law should be abolished or should it apply to all states? I'm going to start off with Chad.
There you go.
On this question.
So,
Oh, 1 second before we go, we have a video.
Is this death captured on surveillance of a Florida father gunned down during a parking lot dispute justified? Florida police, citing the state's controversial Stand Your Ground law, say yes. The altercation took place Thursday outside of a convenience store in Clearwater. The driver of that car is Brittany Jacobs. She pulls up and parks illegally in a handicap space. Then her boyfriend, Marquise McLaughlin, a 28-year-old black male, runs into the store with their son while she waits in the car. Detectives say that's when Michael Draca, a 47-year-old white man, apparently upset the cars parked illegally, jumps out of his vehicle and inspects the car for handicap decals. When he doesn't see any, he starts arguing. Shortly after, McLaughlin leaves the store to defend his girlfriend and shoves Draca, who falls back, pulls out his gun, and opens fire.
What's relevant, and the only thing that we can look at here is, was he in fear of further?
All right, thank you guys for tuning into that video. We're going to start off with Chad.
yeah, so as Louis, you stated, the police chief, right, determined that a crime had not been committed. The Stand Your Ground law requires the police and prosecutors to assess the judgment of someone who uses deadly force, which he is allowed to do only if he reasonably believes it is necessary to protect himself from imminent death or great bodily harm. So, while the police chief said no crime was committed, right, I just question whether they found that to be reasonable. Whether the guy who shot this unarmed black man was in a reasonable, or had a reasonable fear that he was going to be greatly, severely harmed, or he was going to be killed. The facts show that he was on the ground, and that this guy was standing up walking away, and he pulls out his gun and shoots him. Now, of course, we can say it was not reasonable for the African-American guy to push this white guy, right? And in the same light, we can say that it wasn't reasonable for this guy to pull his gun out and shoot him.
Or to even walk up to the car and handle a situation that did not have anything or even concern you.
Correct, yes, yes. And if I understand correctly, the store owner has indicated that this white guy has continuously come to the store and harass customers about where they're parking, right? So this guy has clearly an issue with people living in this community who goes to this store, right? But back to the question, I do not believe that this law should be made or become law in other states, right? It's not good law. It seemingly is a reasonable way to kill black men, and it's justified, right? So I think this police chief failed in his civic duty to the government by suggesting that this was reasonable. This guy had a reasonable fear that he was going to be killed or his body was going to be severely harmed.
Go to Mark.
Man, I feel you 100% on that. I mean, it's Florida, right? The same place where Zimmerman, the shit went down, right? I'm just saying Florida has a past of fucking up. But I watched the video, and I feel like the law overall is stupid. You know what I'm saying? It is. I mean, I understand it, you know, trying to keep people protected, whatever. Because in Texas, we have it to where if somebody's on your property, you know, somebody you feel threatened, you can shoot them and, you know, shoot them dead no matter what. And it's like, I don't believe you should spread this around, because, like, fear is subjective. You know, because you can look at the video, I can technically say, like, all right, the black man, he shouldn't have walked up to him and pushed him on the ground. Like, that's just, like, technically, like, that wasn't a wise decision. So it's like, going back to fear being subjective, if the man's on the ground and he feels like his life is dangerous because he's terrified of black people, you know, according to the law, this is justifiable. But morally, it's incorrect.
Yeah, well, I'm going to argue, Mark, that it's not,
hold on, a second.
according to law,
No, I want to hear what you
justified.
I mean, because, like, that's what I'm saying. Fear is subjective. It's like, if he felt like he was...
Under the stand your ground law, it is justified.
It's not, because
How so?
the police
Immigration law,
officers and the prosecutors are supposed to look at the actions of this guy who fired his firearm, right, and determine if he had a reasonable fear, right? It's not subjective. It's not a subjective standard. We have to then, okay, you can say, I feared him, I was so afraid, but then an objective person can come look at it as the police chief is supposed to do, along with the prosecutor, and determine if they found this man to have a reasonable fear based on the facts of the case. As we all saw.
And I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing. I feel the same way, but it's just that if you were randomly pushed by a black guy on the ground and you just got up and you was just fearful and just started shooting, it's like, in the moment, I mean, of course, it's fucked up, but it's just like, you can also look at it this way. That's what I'm saying. It's like, in the moment, he's just fearful. He's not looking at what the black man is doing. He's just like, oh, I got pushed on the ground. Oh my God, I got a gun. I got to shoot. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, that's why I come back to saying fear is subjective, because, like, I can't tell him how he felt. You know what I'm saying? But I can look at the camera like, yo, black dude was turning around, blah, 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 it's fucked up. But it's like, I can't tell you what he saw.
Right.
In his eyes, he probably saw, like, he didn't know he was turning around. He probably thought he was turning around and get a gun or some shit. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's fucked up. Like,
well, that's
like,
how white supremacy works, right?
That's how white supremacy works. You know what I'm saying? That's how it works.
Now,
that's what we agree on.
Now, I'm going to kind of add on to what you said, because I actually absolutely agree with you. But one thing I would add on is that, as you spoke about how this guy felt threatened, of course, with George Zimmerman felt threatened by the violent person, that they decided to take the person's life out of fear. But what about the black lady who shot the warning shots out in the house because she was fearful of her boyfriend, but yet she got 20 years in jail because they did not apply the stand your ground law to her, and she didn't even kill anybody. She just took a warning shot and shot in her house and just tried to scare him off, and they gave her 20 years in jail because they said, oh, it doesn't apply. So it is white supremacy. It is a way to kill black people. At this point, if you're getting pushed down because you out here arguing with someone's wife and probably threatened, because we don't have the audio, you're probably threatening, you're approaching. What if he took the gun and shot the wife? You know, and claim, oh, I felt fearful. The thing about it is that, and I said this, and this is why I don't mess with Florida. I don't even go visit Florida. I don't mess with Florida at all. I don't mess with Florida. And the reason, because it's the same thing that happened with Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman, and it goes down to these people starting shit with people, claiming they in authority and in this high position, and they trying to, you know, regulate something that they don't, it's not even a job, and then all of a sudden you say, oh, I'm fearful and I want to kill somebody. The thing about it is that the law better not come to California. That's all I got to say. It better not come to California. I'm scared of all white people. It better not come nowhere where I got an address.
Oh no! My job!
I'm gonna let you know. The stand your ground law better not come to no place where I have an address, or you're gonna see me be fearful of a lot of shit. And that's what I got to say about it.
I fucks with that.
Unfortunate. Rest in peace to the guy. The man had no courtesy about anything. Shot the man right in front of his child because you on the ground. Learn how to fight.
That's also another point I was gonna get to. Like, I feel like this generation, he's an
learn
older
how to take
guy,
a- learn how to
but
take an ass
America is just becoming so soft. Like, we have everybody's being such big vaginas nowadays. It's like, for example, like even American football, like they're kicking dudes out of games for their helmets hitting. It's like, you're going to go tackle a guy. So it's just like, it translates everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, we're just overall becoming a soft nation. And that's when shit like that happens. Cause I'm sure if that was someplace like Middle East or some shit, they would have probably just duked it out. You know what I'm saying? And then just like moved on with their lives. Or, maybe probably killed each other. I don't know. So,
Any final thoughts? Any final thoughts on that topic?
Final thoughts, man. Florida's full of white trash. And
Well, I'm from Florida, and
Yeah.
this is opinionated, so everyone can have their opinions.
Mm.
I would say this: if you do decide to go to Florida, Miami is very beautiful, and Fort Lauderdale is as beautiful as Miami, and that's where I'm from. So don't disown Florida. Just choose wisely as to where.
have you seen the white trash in Florida? You living there?
Of course. I
That's
was
a lot.
just there in Miami, and individuals are riding around with Confederate flags.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, thank
Florida's
you guys.
fucked
Thank
up.
you guys. We have to go to commercial break.
Yeah.
I'll be on my way. Mama, don't you worry, all my people getting paid. Giving everything, I've been working every day. No more empty pockets, I got money on the way. Yeah, I'll be on my way. Mama, don't you worry, all my people getting paid. Giving everything, I've been working every day. No more empty pockets, I got money on the way. Yeah, I got money on the way. I got money on the way. I got money on the way. I've been working every day. Money on the way. Fuck the fame, I just wanna be great. Take a risk and take a hold of my fate. Trying to eat, then I give you my plate. Cause I know that more is gonna come my way. Even though I hardly say my grace, but can't.
Tuning in. Once again, the song that you heard in that commercial was Mark Hayes' new single.
Hey, money on the way coming Friday, baby.
Nice tune.
I really hope that it's some money coming on the way Friday because the way my
some money.
finances set up,
My
I'm
chicken account works.
gonna be playing that all week because I got the exclusive to the song. But y'all got it Friday, When y'all get y'all
Make sure you
check.
download it.
Make sure you download it.
Support it. Buy it first, then you stream it.
There
That's
you
how
go.
we do it. We buy it, then we don't play the purchase single, then you stream it.
There you go.
That's how we do it. That's how we
Show
promote
your
it.
boy some love. I'm trying to, we trying to move up in life.
Yes, and shout out to the Freaky Boys for our intro theme song, Vibrate.
Freaky boys in the building.
Yes, so we're gonna go right back into the next question. A study showed college isn't making people smarter. Students are required to study to pass classes and are leaving college with no knowledge and a degree. Is college a bad investment for our people? I'm going to start with Mark.
I don't, man. This is it's a complicated question. It's like college is, I want to say it's hard for me to say it's a great investment because like nowadays it's like you just spend so much money to get in debt to get a job that barely pays you enough to pay off that debt. So you're paying that debt for 30 years. But at the same time, college is a tool to make you, a more intelligent person. It also helps you organize and develop structure, So it's helpful in some ways, but it's also like, I feel like America just got it wrong, basically. Because you go in a lot of other countries, like college is more affordable. It's more available to more people. But in America, we just, we got $45,000 in tuition for a year. It just goes entirely too high.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Chad.
So, is college a good investment, knowing based on this study that it doesn't make individuals smarter? So first we would have to ask ourselves, what does it mean to be smarter? Taking that word for face value, we would give it the definition of you know more than you knew before. Okay. Does college allow that to happen. I personally believe it does. It is an investment that is supposed to change who you are.
Mm-hmm.
I do not believe that you necessarily go to college to then learn how to be a nurse, right? Why are you taking chemistry when it doesn't really translate into the work you'll be doing as a nurse, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's stepping stones that builds you up to challenge you for the workforce, for working as a nurse. I do not believe all professions are worthy of being studied.
Mm-hmm.
However, engineering,
Mm-hmm.
mathematics, the STEM curriculums are very important for the progression of a society. We got to understand that America does not exist in this world alone. We do have other countries that exist that is developing technological innovation that is surpassing us. So I believe as a country, we may need to change the curriculums or develop more programs that are geared towards students going into STEM professions.
Can I add on to that? Yeah, I feel like as Americans, I said this like in season 1, I feel like we need to value education more because we put a lot of money in military and all this other bullshit, but education is low, our teachers aren't getting paid, and I just feel like we don't value it as much, and that shows, you know, like even these people coming from different countries, taking all our jobs and like progressing in life because it's just like we as Americans, we're like, you know, we want to charge you $50,000 and then you know teach you whatever and then finally get you into it. But I don't know, man.
Well, I'm just gonna.
It's a great networking opportunity too. Great networking opportunity.
Sure, yeah. Now, I want to state that the cost of college is high, but we tell kids that it's worth it. But college tuition is raising faster than family income. Let's make that statement. Another statement I'm going to make is that students don't study anymore. The average full-time student study on average 2.76 hours a day on all academics, but twice as much time spent shopping, eating, and partying.
I got some facts too. So more kids than ever are going to college, but most adults are below literacy. 45% of students did not demonstrate any significant improvement in learning over the first 2 years of college. Close to 40% didn't learn anything at all over 4 years.
Yes, so. And that brings me back to like my own personal experience with this semester of school, which I felt that a lot of my professors, basically this semester I felt that all of my professors lectured and just kind of let the students free associate, basically stating that the students was just able to just talk about their experience as being a therapist. And then the semester coming, we just like, wait a minute, did we learn from everybody else's experiences or did we learn from our actual professor? And a lot of the students at my school is asking for their tuition back because they felt that they didn't learn anything. And our tuition is really expensive. And to a certain extent, I honestly agree that I really didn't learn anything this semester, but I spent $16,000 for this entire semester to learn something, you know? So that's my take on it. But any final thoughts on the topic?
Yeah, I was just, Mark brought up that people are coming over to steal our jobs.
Right.
It's this program called the EB1 and EB2 program, which is immigration-based law, which says if you're of extraordinary or exceptional ability in the science, arts, businesses, etc., then we will give you a green card if you can show that.
Right.
And what ends up happening, it's this YouTube one video. If you Google EB1, EB2, America's Secret Weapon, this video will come up where it says that what allows America to stay competitive in the world are these two programs in which we recruit people from other countries to come and do the work that Americans are not necessarily qualified to.
And we also give these people loans to start businesses. It's insane, you know. So it's just like we pretty much just give them all the ammo, but we just our own people. We just kind of like, you know, whatever. You know?
That's arguable.
That's arguable. I don't know. I just feel like, of course we give it to the brightest, you know, like the brightest of the brightest, they get the scholarships, they get all that. But
and
it's
those
like
with the good credit to get the loans.
Exactly, you know what I'm saying? But what about the people who didn't have opportunity to learn about these things? You know what I'm saying? It's like
that's the oppression part of it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just like, but anyway, we're gonna move forward. We can talk about this for days.
That's the point you make.
What do you guys think about this topic? What do you guys think about this topic? I want you all to comment below in the comment section. Start an argument, start an altercation, start a conversation.
Start a riot.
Live it up in the comment
section. Go
to
school and start a riot.
Live it up in the comment section. And we're gonna go on to our next topic. The next topic. New mothers want to abolish the name babies and introduce babies as third party. as a new way to neutralize gender. Let's go to the video.
But doesn't this mean if you're going to raise a baby, how would you be able to change your child's diaper? Because the second you change the diaper, of course, you'd no longer be able to pretend that there was a question about whether this was a boy or a girl. You would know.
Well, it's not about pretending. The parent definitely knows the gender. It's about not necessarily labeling the baby. It's about allowing the baby to decide what gender that baby wants to be when that baby can decide, which is around 4 years old. So from 0 to 4, the baby will not be labeled. The labeling theory will not apply from 0 to 4 years old. The baby will be a baby, neither a boy nor a girl. Whatever gender that baby.
Now, what are
And we're back. Thank you guys for tuning into that video. These people feel that babies should be allowed around the age 4 to pick their gender versus being assigned a gender at birth. Has America gone too far with neutralizing gender? I'm gonna go with Chad.
There you go.
So neutralizing gender by calling them babies, I am just really confused. But caveat, this is Fox News, and we know that Fox News reports shit and bullshit. So I just don't understand why this was even news or even made this. I don't get it. Nevertheless,
It's that feminist movement.
Nevertheless, babies, it makes no sense to me because calling a baby does not suggest a gender.
Oh man,
So
like
Fox News, you lose on this
bro,
one.
I'm just gonna back down on that one and just say this is some of the stupidest shit I've ever heard. I think that's all. I mean, you can agree, right? That's just some dumb shit. Just like people are just getting so sensitive. I think like in like 200 years, people are just gonna be afraid to walk in bathrooms anymore. It's like I don't know. I ain't gonna lie though. I ain't gonna lie. I used it to my advantage one time. I had to use the bathroom at this restaurant, and the men's restaurant was locked, and I was just like. Walked in the women's restroom. I identify as a woman, and just went and peed and moved on myself.
What's interesting is that do I agree? No, I see where they was going with it.
Where were they
Oh
going?
hell no!
Okay, this is how I look at
How do
it.
you think this is logical at all?
Let me say this. This is how I look at it. The thing about it is that it's basically like the whole labeling aspect of gender and of everything in the universe. Oh, we're gonna label this. We're gonna label you male, female, boy, girl, gay, straight, whatever. The thing about it is that I think it's just they just want to leave that open because, as we see in today, that a lot of people is identifying with the opposite gender or whatnot, and I guess they leaving it open to say, you know what, I'm not gonna put a gender on you. I mean, a 0 to 4 year old really not even thinking about gender. Maybe around the age of
think about
2,
food.
maybe around the age of 2 or 3, they start when the Felix stage of development starts to kick in. They start thinking about gender. But a baby is not really thinking about gender. I think that it kind of leaves room for that kid to make decisions about their own life.
Bro, if you have a penis, you're a boy. If you have a vagina, you're a girl.
But technically that
No, technically
that's
not.
scientifically.
Scientifically,
that's
Gender
correct.
and sex are two different things, right? Right?
True.
Elaborate.
But the thing
You
about it
can
is that,
choose your gender, right? Your sex is what you're born with.
and you can change your sex.
I've never
as well.
heard that before.
You can change
Not gonna lie, I've never
And-
heard that before.
And you can
That's-
change your sex as well.
That all sounds insane to me. I ain't gonna lie. It's just like, bro, you got a penis, you're a boy. You got a vagina, you're a girl. If you're a girl that feels like you're in a guy's body and you all of a sudden want a penis, it's like whatever. I mean,
You will never.
I ain't
know
gonna lie,
they
bro.
get a sex change.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm pretty insensitive on this whole transgender thing. But I just try to I just don't say anything about it. It's just like, I feel like if you're just like pretty much questioning God at that point. It's just like, nah, no, you know what?
Not
I
everybody
want to be a
believes in
girl.
God, though.
Not everybody believes in God. Nobody believes
And
in
then you have to account for those individuals who are born with both, right?
Now
And some
that-
individuals are born with
Morphodite.
That
none.
is a interesting situation. Now that makes more sense. You know what I'm saying? Then literally like in that situation, you can literally just pick one.
I
Like,
think- in my mind,
do I want a penis? It's not that big, so I think
only one of them worked though. Even though it's two there.
I've
only
never
one of them,
seen it.
listen,
I don't.
even though it's two there,
That's
only one of them work, and that's the sex that you would be assigned.
Because like when you're born, I think you're born with both, right? I mean, even with
in
women,
the womb, yes.
and women they have like the little, what is it, the little clitoris. That's like could have been a penis.
Yeah,
but it turned out not
if it was a
being.
boy, it'll grow bigger.
Right.
And
if a girl, it
it'll go
stays
into
inside.
balls, and then it
So
shrinks.
everyone
in.
is born or becomes
They're not
a
born.
woman first.
They're not born. No, you literally
I don't know
have
what goes
both
on
in the
inside a
womb.
fetus.
You literally have both in the womb.
Right.
At a certain stage of development for pregnancy, the clitoris either goes big into a penis or it goes in.
And you grow some balls.
It goes in, and then the lips of a female, of the vagina,
testicles.
turns into testicles.
You know
of a
about
boy.
the testicles.
So it's just.
We're all born based on that.
right,
we're all
yes.
women first or females
Yes.
We're gonna move forward though. We're gonna
Yes.
move forward. Testicles is funny to say.
Yes, thank you, and we'll be back. We're gonna go to commercial. We'll be back.
Testicles.
Yeah. Hey, run, I'm running to the money now. Yeah, that bitch was acting funny, but she love me now. I feel like Olympian, I'm running now. Cause I'm running to the money now. I be gonna put the dick up in the tummy now. She in love with the crew, she with my buddies now. I feel like Olympian, I'm running now. Cause I'm running to the money now. I be gonna put the dick up in the tummy now. She in love with the crew, she with my buddies now. Oh yeah!
All black strap, I'm straight. Julius lawyer got my cake. Stars in the roof, white rape. Dice game crack, my bank. Out of town with 100 pounds. Bobby Brown back then, I ain't drink. Headshot, leave a nigga stink. Getting guap, fuck you niggas think. Rollie on, lot of diamonds in it. Bank account, lot of commas in it. Mansion, I'ma put my mama in it. Ask around, I'm in a continental. I was in a rental with a 7. No concealing, you can see my weapon. Count a million, never see me stressing.
Thank you for sticking with us. That was another commercial. Thank you. But we're going to go into our next question. A white woman intervened in a black woman conversation at the grocery store and called the police on her for selling food stamps. Take a look.
You do know it's none of your damn business, right? Oh, it's my business. How is it your business? Because I paid my taxes. I don't give a damn you ain't paid for these fucking food stamps.
We're gonna build this wall. We're gonna build this wall.
Why the fuck are you worried about what's in my motherfucking basket? Because why you in my fucking phone conversation? Period. You can call the police.
I do know
Why
it's
the fuck you in my business?
It's my business.
Mind the business that pay you. You ain't worried about what's in my business. Don't pay you. What? The fuck type of time she out of my mother? She in my whole last conversation.
With the recent calls from white people reporting black people for various crimes, are white people using these scenarios for fame and publicity? I'm gonna go to Mark.
Honestly, bro, I think that's exactly what it is. Like, ever since that last incident where that lady had the weed business and she called and that shit, everybody found out about it. I think that's just a wave now. It's just like, oh, black people doing something. All right, let me call the police, get on this internet real quick. Go and defend yourself against the black people. Or they're like, I defend myself against the niggers, whatever, I ain't tripping on it. And I'm going to grow my business. I bet she like runs some kind of wine company or some shit. And she's like, yeah, she just wants some publicity. It's easy publicity. Whatever. That's the cool thing in these streets now. I'm gonna try to return the favor one day. But go ahead.
Let's go to chat.
I do not think it's an attempt for fame or publicity. Many people these white people have called the cops on black people for doing mundane thing has resulted in job loss. The individual with the marijuana business you're just speaking about, I went to her Instagram page or Facebook page after it was on block, right? So what I think has occurred is Trump has given these white people permission,
a voice,
to police black bodies. White people feel that the black body is a weapon within and of itself.
They fear us because we
the ignorant ones, I must say, right? The ignorant ones who needs to feel better about themselves because they're lacking. So that betterness comes from the oppression of blacks. So these are attempts to make themselves feel good, to make them feel whole in their whiteness.
They're just shitty white people.
They're shitty white people.
Not all the white people are shitty, but there are some shitty white people.
Cops on blacks for doing mundane things, you're shitty.
Calling cops for having barbecues.
Right.
for using legal coupons.
The same people watching interracial porn. I don't want to do that shit.
This is a product of Trump, and unfortunately, white people need to have a conversation with themselves about their own self-hate, because this is where this stems from. They're victims, and they need help.
They feel
Right?
inferior to us because we just so superior, and once we realize it as a whole, they're just gonna be like,
I mean, I disagree. We're a human race, right? Unfortunately, we have.
we are the superior humans.
Exactly. I'm with you on that one. I'm gonna scoot over to the side a little bit.
Go with it,
Ain't
Chad.
nobody like me.
Go with
A
it,
lot of them
Chad.
ain't like me.
Every
you know?
black person isn't like you. Every white person.
We'll save that for a whole different conversation, but I'm gonna wrap this question up.
We
Basically.
adaptable.
I seen the video.
We get darker in the
I
sun.
seen the video, and in the video, I watched the white cop caller, and basically she kept looking in the camera as if like, oh, I got an audience. So I agree with you on that one. I'm on your side with that one. I also agree that Trump has given these people a platform and the go to do these things. But even though they losing their jobs, it's the same thing that happened with the ADA who harassed the Uber driver, and he recorded her. And what happened was that she was like she had did a news conference like, oh, I'm gonna never be able to be a district attorney. And then right after the news reported that she got a job offer in the next county. So the thing about it is that they are losing their jobs, but it's so many people that agree with them that will really uplift them better.
There are
now
shitty
you have
white
a whole
people in
audience.
power.
You have a whole audience now.
Because the
You have a
shitty white
whole
people
audience.
have power.
They do. You have a whole audience, and now,
The president.
they have a whole audience to do whatever they want to do now. Now they got followers and people going to their pages to view what's going on. You're giving them views, you're giving them likes, you're giving them comments, all of these things. That's publicity to do the things you need to do. And I feel like, but the problem with that, to wrap this question up, is to say that if that's your motive or whatever your motive is, people are suffering and people are dying. So I don't think that is worth it. And I'm going to wrap that question.
It's definitely not worth it, for sure.
So let's go on to the next topic. Wiz Khalifa stated that straight men should not eat bananas because they shouldn't be sticking things in their mouth. Is toxic masculinity at an all-time high, or do you all agree? I'm going to start off with Chad.
Of course you'd agree. No, I'm fucking
The
with you.
education system, Exhibit 1, has failed our people, right?
No. Oh, no.
What does have the men putting things in their mouth? I mean, you put a tit in your mouth. Is that something you shouldn't do either? You put women fingers and toes in your mouth. Is that something you shouldn't do either?
I love them titties.
I think maybe this was done in jest. Maybe he was joking. I would hope so. If he was serious, then this is just. I don't even know where one would formulate that idea.
Let me backdoor you on this one. So me being an avid Wiz Khalifa fan for like forever, Wiz Khalifa was definitely joking, bro. I've seen him eat bananas. Like Wiz Khalifa he's just be fucking with people. That's just in his nature. So it's like, I mean, as far as the toxic masculinity thing, I definitely agree it is at an all-time high, but Wiz Khalifa in that specific situation, he was just fucking with that person. I'm 100% sure. But it's like a lot of people, like if you go down to Texas, like they'll definitely point you out for doing anything that's kind of gay. You know what I'm saying? Because that's mostly because, it's the South. They're not really progressive in that area. Even me personally, I'm from Texas. So when I moved out here, I wasn't really open to like, having, gay friends or like, anything. I was homophobic myself, but coming out here, we're brothers. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if I show some of my friends this, they'd be like, what? You know what I'm saying? But it's like, they get it. You know what I'm saying? We out in California, it's progressive. Like a lot of America still has some catching up to do. So it is. It's going to be out there, the toxic masculinity, but I feel like we're slowly getting over it because gays are starting to run everything. So
gays have been running everything first and foremost. Let's get that straight.
They running all our TV shows.
Let's get that straight, Diane.
In our movies.
Let's get that straight, Diane.
Jews and gays.
Now, I'm going to say this. To think about it, I don't care if he was joking or not. I think that, you plan, first and foremost, it's within your repertoire. You feel that way. The thing about it is that I seen another video of a guy who I actually know, but who's a celebrity. He was talking about, oh, I'm not getting a thigh tattoo. I don't want nobody touching my thighs, whatever. And I'm just like, who conditioned you people to think that way? Like, why is it that it's like some guys like, oh, I don't even touch back there. I don't even want to shave back there. Or I don't want to be like all this other stuff. Like, dude, not everybody checking for you. Like, do what you naturally supposed to do. If you want to eat a banana to get your potassium, eat a banana to get your potassium. You know what I'm saying? Like, you putting a banana in your mouth does not do anything for anybody else. You know, I can see if you was playing on the sucker and you was going, the sucker was going all type of ways. Then I can be like, I'm with your boy. But let's go back. But like, it's just these little nuances that I just cannot agree with. I'm just like, dude, do whatever you feel like doing. Women gonna love it regardless.
Right.
Gays,
if you're confident in yourself, you know,
that's all it is.
If you're confident in yourself, you don't worry about that shit.
That is all it is.
It's like, because I feel like people who have that toxic masculinity is just like insecurities creeping up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, why are you worried about people thinking that you're gay or not? You know what I'm saying? It's just like, if you get pussy, man, like, I mean, it's not like you gotta put it out there in the world.
In my day, those type of guys were the ones who was secretly getting down with the get down. And trust me, it is a lot of openly gay men in the world, so I don't have to accuse anybody of being a homosexual or being gay. The thing about it is that in my experience, the people who are the homophobic ones were the ones who was getting down with the get down.
And it's funny though, like I'm an attractive guy, you would agree, right? But anyway, I've had gay dudes slide in my DMs and I'd be like, nah, I'm good, I don't roll that way. And they'll tell me some shit like, well, I know straight guys try to vote and that. You know what I'm saying? I've heard that multiple times. It's like, there's dudes out here just trying it and like not telling people. You know what I'm saying? That down low shit.
Listen,
you know
currently right now, you know, I have a few straight friends who just like, they'll tell the world I mess with females, but then they like trying to hang out with me, and I'm just like, okay, I respect everybody too. I hang out with you, but
I don't want to prolong this question, but I have a very, very crazy story that goes along with this.
Sure.
All right, so when I was in college, I did go to college for a bit. So I had a gay roommate. So what happened was they assigned us our dorms, or we had an apartment. And they just gave us like random roommates. So one was a Kappa, one was this random, I'm a Kappa as well, I know, whatever. One's from Louisiana, some random dude. One was this gay guy. I remember I walked in, I saw a whole bunch of dildo cups. I was like, what the fuck's going on? I called the front office, I was like, hey, my roommate's gay. And it was like, and that was like the first time I had a dose of reality. I was like 18. I was like, oh. Well, I guess I just gotta deal with it then. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, he turned out being a really cool dude. And on top of that, well, the point I was getting to was it would be guys who would go into his room and stay the night and swear up and down to me the next day that they're not gay. I'm like,
I saw you.
You trying to tell me you just went in there and slept on his floor? Shut the fuck up. Like, well, niggas is full of shit. But yeah, there's a lot of download dudes out there. Ladies, watch out. Watch your man.
Ladies, be more open and accepting to these guys so that they can feel
the need to open up and be
like honest with you, right?
Because if you got somebody like K Michelle, who uses homosexuality as an insult, what people don't understand, like you were saying, not to cut you off, I apologize for that, but like K Michelle using homosexuality as an insult, it makes guys don't even feel comfortable with coming out. And the thing about it is that she attacked straight men who's married. Not saying that they not gay, but she attacked straight men who was married and try to belittle them by saying, oh, you sus and all this other stuff. And this is why a lot of females are subjected, and it's not an excuse, but this is why a lot of females are subjected to guys who just want to say, oh, I'm just straight, I don't mess with gays. But if you create the atmosphere to say, you know what, I understand that sexuality is fluid, I know that people like all type of things, it's okay, I'll let you know what I like, you let me know what you like, you might get the response that you're looking for.
Hey, you know what?
I totally agree with that.
I want to ask the audience a question. Interesting. So, in this situation, if there are any females watching this, I want to ask you this specifically. What if you were in a relationship with a guy, and he asked you, hey, I'm interested in doing a threesome, but he didn't say the threesome was another woman? What would be your response?
And on that note,
comment below. I want to know. That shit's hilarious.
And on that note, we're gonna cut to commercial.
I'll be on my way. Mama, don't you worry, all my people getting paid. Giving everything, I've been working every day. No more empty pockets, I got money on the way. Yeah, I'll be on my way. Mama, don't you worry, all my people getting paid. Giving everything, I've been working every day. No more empty pockets, I got money on the way. Yeah, I got money on the way. I got money on the way.
Thank you guys, and we're back. We're gonna go to our next topic, and before we go to this topic, I wanted to ask you guys if you have any question that you want us to answer. We will answer that question on the show. Now, next question. Restaurants like McDonald's stated by the year 2020, all cashiers will be replaced with kiosk machines. How would this affect jobs moving forward? Let's go with Mark.
Man, that is so soon. That is so soon. He said 2020. I'm like, way in the future. Like, wait a minute. That's 2 years.
2 years.
I mean, I'm starting to see more of these kiosks pop up, but at the same time, people are so stupid that they need people to show them how to use the kiosk. So, like, there'll still be jobs. So, I mean, and also there'll be drive-thrus. So, honestly, like, what are those people, but the question is, what are those people who work those jobs going to do? You know what I'm saying? Mostly people working McDonald's are high school students or people who are really fucking up in life.
That's what it was meant for high school students, but you know, a lot of older people have to resort to working at McDonald's.
So, I mean, those people, I mean, I guess they have to go to college and pay $50,000. No, I'm playing. And I mean, shit, how would that affect the workforce as a whole? I feel like it would be a small blip. I don't feel like it would be a huge thing because there's still other jobs out there and there's new jobs being created, especially with technology increasing. There's going to be people, like you said, people to monitor the machines, people to clean the machines. There's going to be new jobs developed because of these machines, you know, but it probably just won't be as many. And then everybody waits in the line forever at McDonald's anyway, so I mean, it's not that many people working there in the first place.
Okay, Chad?
Of course, indeed, I believe technological innovation is on the rise. And automation is a part of that technological innovation, right? So I look at this question from two perspectives, from a moral perspective and from a business perspective, right? Business perspective, genius, right? You're making more money for your shareholders. Those who are going to benefit from the resources that you bring in, and you're able to save by not employing human beings. However, from a moral perspective, and I've always understood corporations to have a moral responsibility to the communities in which they serve.
That's
right?
real.
So McDonald's taking away jobs from Americans for automation to make more money to increase their bottom line is just disgusting, right? And it's very morally irresponsible as a Fortune 500 company in this United States.
I like that.
I don't like this. I don't like the replacement of human beings with automation. I really don't. And as we go to education, the United States isn't preparing its citizens to do jobs that are going to exist without automation.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's my take on it. Basically, I'm in agreement. I agree with both of you all. My take on it is that, like, you can learn how to be a cashier within a week. You know, you really can. You know, those cashier classes take 1 week to learn. Versus with this technology, you have to learn how to operate a computer. And you think about the older people in California, you have a lot of minorities who is not, you know, don't have the access to like technology that has to work these positions. So they're going to be automatically cut out. It's going to create more jobs for people at the top, but the people at the bottom, it's going to be out of a job.
That's what I was saying earlier. Like they're gonna have to go to college just to get a job.
And then who's gonna fund college? College is expensive. Who's gonna fund college?
McDonald's used to do it.
That's why we need to put more money towards STEM, because you have to think of the people who's building these automation systems, right? The techs who are going to be needed to come and service them, right?
And just for audience purpose, STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Also, you know, if you look at it optimistically, I mean, there's a possibility in 2040 or some shit, they will realize this and college will go, like, will be less expensive. Simply because we need more people to operate these automation machines. And if we ain't got enough people, it's like, shit, how we gonna get more people?
The same thing.
We're gonna start creating these trade schools and shit, like, just for that purpose. Like, McDonald's might come up with people just for operating these machines. You know, they might have their own trade schools. I can see that happening.
Unfortunately, I don't agree with that, because currently we have a need for a lot of areas, and they won't even make it possible for people who are in school to be able to easily be accessible to get these positions or giving out grants. So if you want to be like the Teach Grant, or we have a Teach Grant and stuff like that, but there's so many stipulations that people can't meet that it turns into a loan, or we need psychologists and we need more teachers and doctors and lawyers, but it's no incentive there to have these people go back to school or want to go back to school to do the position.
I mean, that's why I said 2040.
It's a way to keep the poor, make the poor even poorer, and provide a bigger benefit to the people at the top.
Always. But
I'm gonna switch it over to TT. TT, do we have any questions for us?
It's just a lot of comments, a lot of people talking shit.
Okay.
Just comments. Masculinity so fragile. It would depend on the guy. This to the question that you asked about the threesome.
Somebody answered the
Somebody
threesome
said,
question. Okay.
It depends on the guy. As long as I'm attracted to him, let's go. And that was a woman.
Wow.
Got it. Okay. Go ahead, sis.
Get it, girl. Live your best life.
I'm just like, whatever makes you happy. I did a class with my friend Sean V, and she did a class basically about sexual pleasures, and she basically said, don't sell yourself short. Whatever you like to do, you go to your partner and say, hey, I like to do this, and I want to do it, and it makes your relationship flourish. It makes you a much happier person when all of your needs are being met versus being stuck or suppressed by a stereotype where you don't want to get your butt touched, like Tank getting his booty ate, and he got a whole beautiful wife,
Right.
So it's like,
if Tank like his booty ate and his wife
life.
don't like eating his booty, he gonna find somebody to eat his booty.
I mean, hey, but she might be the one to do it. That's why she got a ring, and they
I'm
got
pretty
married.
sure she's
Congratulations.
doing it. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
He put a ring on it.
But I'm gonna switch it over, and we have a new segment that we're gonna do, and it's called Opinionated Shouts Out Our People. We are gonna shout out our people, and I want to talk about this lady. Her name is Ida Keeney, and she entered her first race when she was 67 years old. She set a second world record at 95 and is the first woman in history to complete a 100-meter run at the age of 100.
Really?
On February 24, 2018, Keeling set a world record in the 60-meter dash event at the Imperial Dad Track Classic hosted by urban athletes with an impressive race time of 58 minutes and 34 seconds in the 100 to 104 age group. She also has a book called Can't Nothing Bring Me Down.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Okay, go ahead.
And was the recipient of an honorary Emmy Award this year.
Hey.
Nice.
ESPY Award.
I was confused too.
ESPY Award.
Whatever.
Emmys is that's our race. That's our race. But this lady is 103 years old. She was born in 1915.
Damn.
And she run faster than
She
me.
saw.
And I'm 27.
Bro, hold on, bro.
And she's an African American woman. Let's just throw that out there. And she looks good.
Hold on. She can't be faster than you, Lewis.
She's faster than me.
You said 58. You say 58 minutes.
I don't run that.
But 100 meters, bro, you can at least do 15 seconds.
I don't run.
Damn, Lewis, you slow as fuck.
She
Bro, like, I mean, I applaud her, but I just imagine watching it. It's kind of funny. She just, she was moving. She was like,
and she can do push-ups, and I can't do no push-ups.
I feel like some kind of math is wrong. You said 58 minutes for 100 meters.
Listen, she's an African American woman. And anything is possible.
No, I'm saying that's a long time.
But she's 103. She's born in 1950. That's
So
older than your great-great-grandma.
It took her an hour to run 100 meters?
She's 103.
I get it.
Thank you.
Well, I think
this is not up for debate.
what's lost in translation is Louis doesn't understand how long.
Yeah, he doesn't understand how long.
But what I'm trying to say is that we not here.
Bro,
we not here to assess how long.
I'm just saying you're faster than
she's
you think you are.
This lady is alive at 103. Right. First and foremost,
bro, you can walk 100
active.
meters in less than 2 minutes.
Save that.
So go out and purchase this book because you could live to 103.
Exactly, that's some educational shit right there. Is she a vegan? Do you know?
She didn't get into all of that, but basically, the backstory on it is that her daughter was an athlete and still is an athlete, basically. This
How old
lady,
is her daughter? Like 50?
like in her 60s or something.
Damn.
But this lady had 2 sons who both since then has passed away, and she went into like a depression, and her daughter was like, okay, let's go and work out, and like in her 60s she just started to become an athlete, and
I gotta
she's here today.
I gotta
She's here today.
YouTube that shit.
Yeah,
because I'm gonna do it.
And also, we're going to shout out another person, our very own Mark Hayes, who is not a rapper, and he is not a singer, but a talented musician from Houston, Texas, but currently resides in the mean streets of Hollywood.
LA.
He is the creator of hits such as Home, Get to Know Ya, and the new single called Money on the Way, released in July 27, 2018.
I wasn't expecting
He is one of the few artists in the world who can produce, write, sing, rap, arrange, mix and master, and create cover art for all of his work. To learn more about both of these artists and athletes, please follow Opinionated Show listed below to read all about them.
I'm emotional right
And on that note, I'm Lewis Jones.
I'm Mark Hayes.
I'm Chadwick Games.
And we are the host of Opinionated. Thank you for tuning in, and see you guys next week.
Oh yeah.
Hi guys. I'll be on my way. Mama, don't you worry. All my people getting paid. Giving everything. I've been working every day. No more empty pockets. I got money on the way. Yeah, I'll be on my way. Mama, don't you worry. All my people getting paid. Giving everything. I've been working every day. No more empty pockets. I got money on the way. Yeah, I got money on the way. I got money on the way. I got money on the way. I've been working every day. Money on the way. Fuck the fame, I just wanna be great. Take a risk and take a hold of my fate. Trying to eat, then I give you my plate.